clarity on what's happening there on ground this morning. All right, let's move along and welcome in our next guest as well. We've got Mr. Sinha of Tata Power joining us, and we've got lots to discuss with him, of course, and demand, for example, whether or not government support for DISCOMs has been enough, and the changing landscape for the sector. Mr. Sinha, good morning. Good to have you with us. Now, many developments have taken place in the power sector. Let's first talk about, whether or not demand is really shaping up and if there's been any significant recovery from the recent lows that we've seen.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on the show. First of all, the demand has picked up from the low of April, from a low of about 125 gigawatt on the overall basis. We are about the 165, 166, which is good news. In pre-COVID period, in the summer months like this, it would have been about 180. So we are about 10% less than what it would have been if it was business as usual. But we have seen that in last 2-3 weeks, the demand has picked up, the collection has picked up, and there is a general increase in the consumption of electricity, especially from the industrial sectors, as the industries have opened up.
Fair enough. Another important development has been the real-time exchange of power. Let's talk about that for a moment. How important a step is it? And for players like yourself who also depend on long-term PPAs, does this help to offload excess capacity?
Directional change that has happened, whereby you have a real-time market, and that's where the flexibility comes for generating companies to ramp up or ramp down depending upon the need of power. More importantly, I think it also gives the depth to the market. Today, the real-time market or the day-ahead market is a very small market. The trading takes place is not very large quantum, but with the real-time market coming in, it gives an opportunity both for conventional and renewable generation to trade in the market. I'm sure the competition in this will bring also lower prices, which will be beneficial for the consumers. So it's a very important directional step that has been taken by CERC and the government, and I'm sure as it moves forward, we will see the other benefits of coming in, especially in terms of the ancillary markets, where frequency trading can also take place. And this will help many of the, especially the new technology in terms of storage and others to benefit, and their usage will increase also.
Praveer, let's talk about Tata Power in specific right now, and I'm just going by quarterly numbers. It's remarkable. Despite so much uncertainty around the sector, a lot of debt reduction plans underway, and it's a good result, might I add. Tell us a little bit more in detail about the debt reduction plans that you have in the pipeline, and what sort of debt to equity ratios are you targeting for FY21?
The Tata Power performance has been good, not only in the last quarter, but for the whole year. And what we have seen that operationally all our plants are doing very well. Our network, our distribution systems have been doing very well. And we do expect that this will continue even during COVID period. All our people have operated the plants, our networks have worked. In spite of the cyclone yesterday, our teams were fully mobilized to take care of the requirements. So I think operationally Tata Power has been very consistent and very resilient in its performance. On the debt reduction, we started this initiative 2 years back. There was some delay, but we have been able to close many of the deals, including the Panaton, Tata Communication, defense business. And then during the COVID period, we concluded and got the money for the South African divestment that was done. We are in very advanced stage of closing some other divestments that we have planned for this year. the shipping business and the BSSR coal mining in Indonesia and the hydro plant in Zambia. So within this year we'll do it, notwithstanding the COVID. Very good discussions are going on. And similarly, on the renewable, we are looking at some platform structures which will help us to bring down our debt substantially. So we are on target, notwithstanding the COVID. And the year-end plan is that we will reduce drastically, nearly 50% of what we are today. In that range, we will be there. So aspirationally, we are working towards this, and we are confident of meeting our targets and timelines.
That's great, and I think the markets as well will really take cues from what you just said. Let's talk about Mundra, because some progress has happened where the power minister has allowed individual states to alter and even allow the pass-through of higher rates. Could you set a timeline per se for the Mundra resolution?
Yeah, that got decided on 20th of March, and then the lockdown started from 24th. So there has not been much of progress. All the state governments are fully occupied with the COVID and the health issues concerning that and how to take care of people during this difficult period. I feel that this is not the right time to go and approach them also. It would be very, very unfair at this stage to go and approach them. But the understanding is that the proposal from at least Gujarat and Maharashtra is ready to go to the cabinet. As soon as things stabilize and the officers start working normally, we expect that this should happen. And but it's difficult at this stage to tell you specifically when it will happen. But maybe another 2-3 months it should get through, because the government is very keen. Both the states have shown a huge commitment, and we are expecting that this will get resolved very quickly.
Mr. Sinha, give us a sense as to what.
All right. Mr. Sinha, moving on as well, about coal prices, given your portfolio and also Indonesian coal mining business, there has been a lot of uncertainty. Do you see that fading away?
I don't think that there has been a huge decrease in the coal transactions that have taken place from Indonesia. All the importers of coal from Indonesia, whether it's China, Japan, Korea, Malaysia, they have been importing, including India, and there has been not very substantial reduction in the coal prices. The HBA prices came down during a certain period, but it has again gone up. And what we also find is that because of the restrictions imposed by China to get coal from Australia, the coal transactions from Indonesia continue to be there as it was earlier. Of course, the good thing that has happened is the mining license for the KPC, which was ending next year in December. The law amendment has happened in Indonesia, and we expect that based on the amendment to the mining laws, we will get the extension within the next few months.
in the near future. Virtual reality will transport you live to the news,